In the early 1990s, Ajmer, a pilgrimage city known for its dargah, became the site of one of India's most shocking sexual exploitation scandals. Young schoolgirls were allegedly groomed, raped, photographed, and then blackmailed to silence. The story only surfaced when lab processed photographs were leaked to the press. What followed was decades of investigation, court battles, and for many survivors, lifelong trauma. This is the story of the 1992 Ajmer rape and blackmail scandal. The scandal unfolded between about 1990 and 1992. According to press investigation at the time, influential local men, some from the Chishti family, who were hereditary caretakers, khadims, associated with the Ajmer Sharif Dargah and were politically connected, used their influence to lure young girls to parties and farmhouses. The victims, many aged in their teens, were promised help with careers or political introductions, but were raped and photographed to be used as instruments of blackmail. The case broke when employees at a photo lab realized the negatives contained indecent images. Those reels and copies were circulated and eventually reached the local paper Dainik Navjyoti. Journalist Santosh Gupta published the first report in April-May 1992. A second report with blurred images on May 15, 1992 triggered public outrage and protest in Ajmer. According to testimony assembled during investigation and later court records, victims were brought to farmhouses or bungalows, invited to parties. Once assaulted, they were photographed and threatened. The perpetrators used the images to force silence and, in some cases, to coerce victims to bring other girls. The estimated number of victims varies widely in reports. Some media accounts mentioned as many as 100 to over 200 girls affected, but the exact toll remains contested due to victims' reluctance to come forward and passage of time. After the press exposed, police registered cases and arrested several men. Over the years, many names surfaced in investigation and trials. Some of the principal accused reported in press and court records include Farooq Chishti and Nafees Chishti, members of the influential Chishti family, along with others who were variously identified in court documents and media reports. And the names would be Farooq Chishti, Nafees Chishti, Naseem, Zamir Hussain, Iqbal Bhati, Salim Chishti, Anwar Chishti or Shamsuddin. Trials were long and complex. Some accused were convicted in fast-track courts. Sentences varied from years in prison to the life terms in certain cases. Over time, appeals, legal reviews, and sentence reductions also took place, making the legal outcome a multi-decade process. This case did not end in the 1990s. Legal proceedings continued for decades. Notably, in August 2024, a special POCSO court in Ajmer sentenced 6 remaining accused in the 1992 scandal to life imprisonment and fined them, a development that reopened the wounds of victims and survivors after more than 3 decades. Earlier judgments, appeals, and sentence adjustment had already occurred over the years, and some accused has served periods in prison earlier. Why did justice take so long? Multiple factors are commonly cited by journalists and legal analysts. The local influence and local standing of some accused, victims' fears of social stigma, reluctance to testify, procedural delays, and the difficulty of proving crimes that occurred decades earlier. courts have repeatedly noted the challenge when victims refuse to testify or recant because of threats, shame, or pressure. Beyond legal outcomes, the human cost has been deep. Survivors have described lifelong stigma, trauma, interrupted education, and lives shaped around secrecy and fear. The Ajmer scandal also sparked debates around institutional failure, from alleged local complicity to policing, and the responsibility of political parties and religious institutions when powerful figures are accused. The 1992 Ajmer case remains one of the most troubling reminders of how power, influence, and secrecy can be used to exploit the vulnerable, and how slow, imperfect legal system can be in dealing with mass crimes against women. If you would like sources, I'll link major news reports and the court summaries and long form investigations in the description. If you or someone you know is affected by sexual violence, please reach out to the local support services. Link in the description.